So you just beat Valheim's final boss, you're not sure what to do, and boredom is setting in. Well, fortunately for you, Valheim offers endless ways for entertainment, so today I'll walk you through 8 ways to solve your boredom, of which one of them I'm actually doing right now. Can you guess what it is? But before that, number 1 is to simply challenge what finished really means in Valheim. It's more than just beating each of the biome's bosses with countless unique items to collect. As an example, I started a series on my channel of a full completionist run that I stream every Sunday, where my goal is to collect every item, weapon, armor, foods, mead, trophy, you name it. In total, Valheim contains more than 80 unique weapons, over 50 armor pieces, and nearly 60 unique creature trophies to collect, and the game isn't even finished, and that's just the start. For this playthrough, my plan is to build what I'm calling a museum in each of the game's biomes. Inside, I will display every item obtainable from them, plus adding the requirement that every weapon and armor must be fully upgraded for the added grind. Better yet, this world will also be my forever world, and this character is the one I plan to take to the deep north when Valheim 1.0 drops. With absolutely everything gathered, I cannot be more prepared for the game's final release. At this point, I'm 300 plus days into the playthrough and far from done, but to give you an example, this is my Swamps Museum. I have a lattice wall with all the trophies, armor stands with both sets, a table with every food from the biome and all the weapons, while I'm still working on each of the shield variants to boot. All fully upgraded, by the way. If you're up for the grind, I think a completionist run is a great way to extend your playtime. But if the grind isn't for you or you want to lessen the burden, what better way than to play with friends? I for one play a lot of Valheim solo, but that's the nature of being a content creator. If you've been playing by yourself, joining out with some friends can maximize the fun and extend your playtime. When I'm not capturing footage for a YouTube video, streaming, or otherwise Valheiming solo, I have a dedicated server that I play on with 2 of my good friends. Each of us have our own home, some admittedly better than others. All that to say, playing with friends is some of the most fun you can have ever in Valheim. You can either host the server yourself or join your friend's world. Better yet, you can sign up for an always online server through a hosting service like DatHost that I use to enable my community server and house the world my friends and I play on. And what better way to find friends to play with than to join a community? If you spend any time following Valheim, whether that's on YouTube, Reddit, or in Discord, it's one of the most friendly and welcoming communities out there. Last February, a group of dedicated creators got together and organized the first ever ValCon, a 2-day virtual event both streamed and hosted on dedicated servers for those with mods and those without. It was an amazing celebration of Valheim that I was lucky to take part. Another great example are the Planewalkers, who organize monthly events for players to partake, and I was lucky enough to be a judge for one of their build competitions last year. We even have a small but growing community for my channel on Discord, where we banter about Valheim, spread knowledge, and ultimately share our love for the game. And while my fave ways to solve your boredom in Valheim are still ahead, sometimes the best thing to do is just take a break and play another game for a little while. This is where today's video partner, Aniba, saves the day. Aniba is a continuously expanding gaming marketplace with over 40,000 digital products, building to become the safest, most affordable, and sustainable go-to platform for all your gaming needs. They provide the hottest deals on any gaming title, old or new, and ranging from the latest AAA to your favorite indie. For instance, I decided to check out their cheap games category for a bargain and found the excellent V Rising a staggering 84% off, an absolute steal. Why pay more when you can simply just pay less? Plus, Aniba has you covered no matter your platform with deals on games from PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. But they offer far more than just games with a massive offering of gift cards for your favorite gaming platform. Considering the holidays are around the corner, I might be loading up on gift cards to take advantage of the impending holiday sales. Not to mention, the icing on the cake is that Aniba secures your payment methods and has your back with 24/7 live customer support to give you complete ease of mind. It's never been easier to save on your favorite gaming products. Make sure you check out Aniba today with my links in the video description and pinned comment below. But if that's not enough spice for you, I strongly encourage you to experiment with the game's world modifiers for a completely new experience. These settings provide endless opportunities to grant flexibility in how you play. You can reduce the grind by increasing resource drop rates for an accelerated subsequent playthrough, turn off raids which are a notorious nuisance, or even remove build costs altogether and make enemies passive for a purely creative experience. I for one even sometimes lower resource drop rates to slow myself down. I am admittedly bad for always speedrunning the game and not truly embracing the experience. Specifically though, I do have 3 world modifier combinations that I think you should try for supremely unique playthroughs. First is simply hardcore, and it is not for the faint of heart. With this preset, enemies deal more damage, are noticeably larger, faster, have increased chance of leveling up for stars, and to make matters worse, the death penalty is maximized with all your inventory lost on death. But raid chance is increased, upping the danger even further. But maybe worst of all, portaling is disabled after a boss is summoned, which I learned the hard way when stranding myself away from my base when dying to bone mass on my own hardcore run. To make matters worse, I was doubling down on the pain by trying hardcore, also without a map. Oof. While not for a casual player, this could be an option for the game's most dedicated, those who would be interested in a challenge. Next, and maybe my favorite, is the immersive preset that I teased in the intro for this video. With these settings, both portaling can be disabled and the map entirely removed from the UI. In many ways, this is the most transformative way to play Valheim, forcing players to approach the game entirely differently. Suddenly, signs are critical to help guide you across the map, paths are essential to mark your travels and find your way home. Some players even go as far to create rudimentary maps in-game or even keep a record on a piece of paper at their desk to remind themselves of directions. Without a map, every boat journey is a gamble, but the gushing thrill of exploration is a feeling worth the risk. But remember, fire hazards can also be enabled here, so be wary of where you place your fires. Alternatively, on the opposite side of the spectrum, you can elect for a casual playthrough. With these presets, you can make enemies far weaker or even passive. You can portal metals and other unportable materials and keep raids to a minimum. You could even enable free build costs as well for an even easier experience. Which leads nicely into my next proposed solution to your boredom is to just go build something. There are few games with a building system that's both simple, but powerful and flexible enough to allow the most creative players to flex their creative muscles. I'm personally not much of a builder, which might be the worst kept secret on YouTube, but I'm getting better. Fortunately, I reached out to Smitty Survival, one of the best builders in the business, and he allowed me to share some of his builds that you could maybe find inspiration from. He just recently spent 100 hours building a castle in every Valheim biome, with each one just absolutely breaking my tiny caveman brain. If I had to pick my favorite, I think I'd have to pick either the Mountains or Mistlands builds. The way he integrated his Mountains build into the Peak blew my mind, and I'm just a sucker for a coastline Mistlands fortress. All this to say, if you're a builder in Valheim and you haven't built a castle in every single biome, what are you doing? The possibilities are endless. Thanks to Smitty for letting me use some of his footage for this video, and if you have not subbed to Smitty yet, I left a link for his channel in the video description. Another alternative is to dive into mods for Valheim. In all the games I've ever played, this one might have the most expansive and creative modding community out there. If you scan through either Thunderstore or R2 Rodman, you can find literally thousands of different mods out there that the community tirelessly updates with every single Valheim patch to ensure they're always kept up and running. To start, I'd recommend trying a series of quality of life enhancing mods to upgrade your vanilla experience. These type of mods don't transform the Valheim experience you're used to drastically, but rather enhance it in some of the areas where some might consider Valheim weakest. This warrants a bigger video, but to get you started, I'll give you 3 to try. First is Azu Auto Store. With this mod enabled, when returning to your base, you can toss all your gathered loot onto the ground. After a moment, those items will get automatically stored into chests containing like materials. Alternatively, you can set a keybind to auto-store your items instead. The distance from chests that material will be pulled is completely configurable, so you can tweak it to your liking. Second is a combo of plant everything and mass farming. Everybody knows that farming can be a bit tedious at times, and mass farming assists by giving you a grid to both plant and harvest your crops with perfect spacing in a single click. While it's gotten better with the introduction of the scythe, it's still much faster with this modification. Further, plant everything allows you to replant other crops otherwise restricted, like mushrooms, blueberries, raspberries, and cloudberries amongst others, keeping all your crops close to home. Third, and perhaps the favorite of the 3, is Azu Extended Player Inventory. This mod adds additional inventory slots plus extends it for gear and meads with their own dedicated slots, and once again has all kinds of configuration you can play with. Inventory space is one of the most common complaints from Valheim players, and this mod works wonders in easing that pain. All that said, if you're looking to completely overhaul your playing experience, the modding team has your back with countless to choose from for a totally new Valheiming experience. While I haven't tried many of these yet, one series of mods I'm currently working through a playthrough on is a mod pack by Terzi. These mods from Monstrum to Armory, Wizardry, and Warfare collectively enhance each of the game's biomes, adding new creatures, weapons, armors, bosses, you name it, to Valheim. Maybe the best piece of all is included in the set is a fully fleshed out Deep North biome that Terzi made, beating out the Valheim devs themselves. Another way to add some spice to your next playthrough is to establish some custom constraints on yourself to set up an interesting challenge. As one example, you could try your next journey with only a single weapon class. Henrik, one of the most skilled Valheim players out there, is currently completing that one himself. Or perhaps you want to attempt a completely deathless run, like Thread Menace, who's currently working his way towards that goal. Or maybe most famous, attempt to complete Valheim completely as a pacifist, as Haunted Oath famously did in his video. For a more unique challenge, I've heard of people attempting vegan runs where resources from animals are completely banned. No leather scraps from boar, pelts from wolves, nothing. You would be surprised how many things are locked behind resources from animals. And if you truly love pain, you might consider playing Valheim without food. Seriously, Scales recently beat Valheim without eating any food. You gotta check it out. The longer you spend with Valheim, the more you realize the endless possibilities it offers. In fact, I recently started my own sadistic challenge to see if I can beat Valheim with only a single health, with episode 1 right here. On your way out, make sure you pay respects to the content creators keeping the game fresh that I mentioned throughout the video. I've left links to their channels in the description below.